The cult of children or the cult of parents. If you want children to keep their feet on the ground, put some responsibility on their shoulders. Abigail von Buren. In today's world, we see two completely opposite family structures, the cult of children and the cult of parents. In families where the cult of children reigns, children are not punished or lectured, they are not scolded. Everything happens with a great deal of patience and persuasion, which often fails to achieve its goals. Parents cater to their child's every whim, treating them like they're made of glass. The child is revered like a deity, someone to be worshipped morning, day, and night. You might argue that it's wonderful to put the child first, place them on a pedestal, and give them the best of everything. You may even try to convince me that these children grow up spoiled and disobedient. They won't have childhood traumas because they were treated as the best from the very start. And from such children, great personalities are born. Such beliefs have the right to exist, but based on my observations, I have a different viewpoint. It's easy to indulge your children, pamper them, protect them, and fear doing anything that might upset their Royal Highness. In other words, the children do whatever they want as long as they don't cry. Well, this is the easiest way. If the child wants something, you simply give it to them. If they haven't put their toys away, you put it for them. And if they tore up your documents and drew on them, you order new ones. The main thing is keeping the peace and quiet in the house, and heavens forbid you do anything that might upset the little prince or princess. In other words, don't raise them. To this, such anxious parents might immediately reply that they do raise their children, and that it's so hard to always hold themselves back from yelling or, God forbid, punishing them. But then such parents complain that their children don't listen to them, they don't respect them, they don't care about them. Such children simply know how to get on with themselves. They constantly demand attention from their parents. These children will struggle in life as the modern world is cruel and others don't care about them. No one will indulge such a spoiled person outside the family, and in my opinion, the scariest thing is that in adult life, they won't be interesting even to themselves. I consider the parents of such children to be selfish. They put their children on a pedestal, put them first, but not in the child's best interest and for their future mental health. It's purely in the parents' own interest. It's easiest to indulge children than to make them pick up their toys, teach them to behave decently in society, to respect their parents even when they're busy and have no time for them. Yes, it's very hard because the inevitable result will be children's tears, laziness, and demands. But this is something parents can't bear, so it's easier for them to follow the cult of children in their home. Later, these same parents wonder why their children are so ungrateful when they've given them everything, when in fact they didn't give anything. They just bought their silence. They bought it with endless pampering and uncritical obedience of their child. It is those who did not create the cult of children who treated their children as equals and taught them obedience and compassion, order and work, adulthood and mutual understanding, respect for parents, and family values that will end up raising a responsible citizen. This is hard work and requires nerves of steel. The cult of parents, on the other hand, means putting parents first in the family and children second. Again, this is extremely different and sometimes morally impossible. This is why so many families break up because to make this work, one must have wisdom, patience, love, and respect for their partner. Once, one of my clients, an elderly woman at the time, told me, if you want a happy family, forget about your children. When I was a young woman, her words sounded like those of a crazy lady talking nonsense. But as the years went by, I began to think more and more about those words. Of course, you shouldn't take them literally, abandoning your children to run off to your husband. But you must shift the children to second place, because an obsessive love for them can backfire. Let me clarify that I'm talking about a family with adequate parents, where both the husband and wife are decent people. In such a family, the children who are allowed everything may grow up to be spoiled and show inadequate behavior in the future. But decent parents can also make it so the children are more likely to grow up restrained and well behaved. The difference lies in the cult. Remember this.